Start. In this video, I present to you the modification to my DIY watering system. It's very easy to build. You just print out some structural parts and mount 12-volt electronics on them. Then, a timer starts the pump in the morning. When runoff water reaches the sensor, the pump is turned off. I'll give a complete tutorial on how I assembled the controller and close with a list of materials you'll need if you want to build your own controller. This lecture is about a push modification for my well-documented auto watering system. I produced this video in a way that it can also be used as a printout. That means you can use it offline, or even just print some single pages of it. All the design that are shown can also be downloaded. Hey! My name is Daniel, I am from Germany, and I will be your host. Let's push automate our grow tent. This is the structure of this video. The specifications are as follows. The liquid level controller will stop as soon as the two wires are connected by the water. The base wire is on the ground. If the high level wire is also on the ground, it will stop immediately. If the high level wire is higher, it will stop when the water reaches it. This setup allows for both watering from above and below strategies. Let's check out the installation of the system. First, we start by printing out the base plate. The design is optimized for a 0.6 mm nozzle. I did use the color black and cheap PLA. Printing should be no problem. Use adapter _NC25C01.STL to mount the NC25C01 liquid level sensor switch relay module for irrigation to the base _plate.STL. We will use the same screws for the complete system. Senk Kopf Universal Schraube PZ Antrieb 03 mm x 12 mm. But there is one different screw. And there is not much space. I used a screw I had lying around. There is not much space to work with. The screw I used has a head diameter of 5 mm and a thread diameter of 2.39 mm. If you do not find any fitting screw, maybe take the easy way and just use any standard M2X8 screw. It works like a charm and is always good to have some sets on hand. Get your voltage regulator ready. With it you can regulate the water output of the pump. Install the LM2596 DC-DC step-down converter. Get a small 12V pump. This the one I use. 12V DC small 370 water pump with DC motor, low noise, large water flow. Since most pumps lack the blue mounting element, I will include a universal pump mount that can be used with zippers. Connect the pump to the DC output of the voltage regulator. With this adapter you should be able to install any mini pump. Remember that I use a 12V system. If you do need another adapter, feel free to contact me, and I am sure we will find a solution for your problem. You can use cheap LED cables. I used 22 AWG or 0,5 mm superscript 2. You will need a tool for stripping the wires. And a second tool for crimping the ferrules. You should not dismiss these tools. Buy them and use them. Next, create this simple cable tree. Use one 30 cm cable and one 15 cm cable. Use the correct tools and ferrules. Install the power adapter on the end with the black ferrules. Always use ferrules when you use a screw terminal. Connect the humidity controller to the 12-volt cable. Connect the red 12-volt power line to the relay of the controller. The relay will let the current pass when the water level is not high. Connect the power from the relay to the input side of the voltage regulator. When adjusting the voltage, keep in mind that you might need to turn the knob for a long time before seeing any change. Since it is an endless knob, it doesn't matter how long you turn it. Next, we will tidy up the design using a cable zipper. I used the middle rack to secure the cables. Print out the cable cover. It will be installed with 4M3 12mm screws. Now you can be happy, your controller is ready. I hope you enjoy the design. This at the backside view. Next, we will print out the parts for mounting the controller. The printing process is easy and fast. Clean your parts for the next step of the assembly. First, I will install the hanger. It is secured with 2 screws. Since you want the flexibility to place the controller anywhere when you change your plant, I also added some feet. Each foot is secured with 2 screws. This base foot lock is optional. I don't use it, but I wanted to leave the possibility open. The standard feet are rigid enough. Maybe I should just delete this component. Now the controller can stand on its own or be hung in its desired working place. Now the controller can stand on its own or be hung in its desired working place. To connect the sensor you need a cable. The overall length is about 30 centimeters, depending on your setup. Out and low are bridged. Out and high go out to the water sensor mount.stl. If water reaches high, the controller stops the pump. To reset, you need to power off the unit. A timer powers the system on and off every morning from 5 to 6 o'clock. Cable tree as follows. 1 overall length, 30 to 50 centimeters, depending on your setup. 2 bridging length, 5 millimeters, a small cable to bridge out and low. 3 stripping length, about 4 centimeters, to securely attach the wire to the mount. This picture should clarify how to attach the cable. The low level is disabled. When the high level is reached, the pump will stop. A timer needs to power off the unit to reset the system. This is how the controller works. Normally, it is used to maintain a certain level in a tank. The level is allowed to fluctuate between the low and high levels. Print out the sensor adapter. It offers several options for mounting and connecting your sensors. This is the controller connected with 1, ground level and 2, hole 1. There is a height difference of 5 mm between each hole. The pump will stop when the water level has reached 5 mm. Since I do not want to maintain any specific water level, but rather use the runoff water as a signal for the pump to stop, I attach both wires to the ground level of the sensor mount. As soon as the water bridges these 2 cables, the pump will stop. Use cable ties as strain relief to ensure the cables stay securely in place. This is your finished unit with the sensor attached. Since you need a timer to reset and restart the watering system, I used a cheap 12V power supply and a basic timer. I figure that watering your plants in the morning before the lights turn on is the best practice. This mimics the natural dew cycle, allowing plants to absorb water efficiently when it's cooler. As the lights warm up, the air can hold more moisture, helping to evaporate any excess water and prevent mold. This routine supports the plant's natural growth processes and helps keep the soil from getting too wet, reducing the risk of root rot. Just place the cabling anywhere convenient. You can also use a CN101A timer. This allows you to set the timer to water every second day if you are concerned that watering once a day is too much. Connect the water diffuser and the water reservoir. Your watering system is ready to go. If you want the system to stop very quickly, simply lift one side of the pot a little bit and place the sensor on the opposite side. This way, the cables will be directly bridged by the water, stopping the system immediately. Here you will find the watering ring and all the other files needed for this modification. These are the main materials I used. Water automatic controller DC12V liquid level sensor. Wiring schematics of the product. Affordable 12-volt timer. Affordable 230-volt timer. M2 screws purchased in a set. These are basic screws. They are universal, mainly for wood, and self-tapping. They do not mind any humidity. The LM2596 DC-DC step-down converter is with display. You can get one without, it is much cheaper. You could just also not use it at all. This is the pump I used. There are many 370 water pumps, this one has a mounting possibility. I noticed that many pumps do not have a mounting possibility, so I added a universal adapter. Then you can just use a zip tie and attach the pump. I used 22 AWG equivalent to 0.5 mm square standard LED cable. You should crimp the end of your cable before using screw connections. This is a good tool for stripping of the insulation. Female connectors for LED strip light. This is a basic watering hose. The inner diameter is 4 mm. Make sure to check compatibility with your pump. Let's close this lecture. Please share with us in the comments, how did you set up your watering system? What would you improve? What do you do differently? How do you water? What is the greatest advice that you could give out? Before we end, I did put a lot of work into this lecture series. I hope you enjoy it. Maybe you want to consider to buy me a coffee? There is a serious reason why I ask. In life there is balance everywhere. Summer and winter, day and night, hot and cold, and so on. It's obviously natural, that taking and giving is also a polarity that needs to be in balance. Only when there is balance can we, as humans, achieve harmony and genuine happiness. That means, if you take something for example from the internet, you should also give something back. Please check for yourself if your life is in balance. If you want, you can support me with a donation. That would be great. You could also support any other good project. Send someone a smile, leave somewhere a nice comment, or just be joyous and spread some love. Thank you for spending your time with me. I hope you like my solution. Try it out for yourself. Happy building. Auf Wiedersehen.